maths, these patterns reveal themselves in the most incredible form. It's quite beautiful. It's like a painting, I think. Only imaginators with colors we cannot see.
Mathematicians won the war. Mathematicians broke the Japanese codes and built the A-bomb. Who among you will be the next Morse? The next Einstein?
I also put an advanced Fourier system on the main hallway chalkboard. Now, the person to do so will not only be in my good graces, but also go on to fame and fortune, have their accomplishment recorded and a name printed. The auspicious MIT Tech.
Cosmologists write it then.
One single unifying equation that explains everything that happens.
What's the equation?
That is the question. The singularity systems.
Keep going, develop the mathematics.
Great knowledge often comes from humblest origins. Can't be done, I'm telling you. Especially not by you. Stop!
Your theorem is wrong.
I have 2 years to live.
You will never understand the importance of what I am creating here.
It can. Sometimes it's the very people who no one imagines anything of who do the things that no one can imagine.
So what next?
A single equation with time having to make.
But there should be no boundary to human endeavor. We are all different. While there is life, there is hope.
We are merely explorers of infinity in the pursuit of absolute perfection. We do not invent these formulae, they already exist.
I like her numbers. Let's get the girl to check the numbers. I mean, she says they're good. I'm ready to go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome to High Tech Pilot, episode 10. It's October 28, 2022, 9:24 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Leon. So when I got up this morning, I looked out of the window. I saw maple trees. Those maple trees are gorgeous. So fall is a really beautiful season in Canada here. So now let's welcome my first guest, Maple.
Good morning, Leon. Good morning, Lakeman, Kill, CCP, and the Farm Sister. And I'm very happy to be with you. Actually, it's the CCP technology transfer, which affected the whole world for the industries. And let's continue exposing their evilness. Thank you.
That's great, Maple. So, Lakeman, how's the view over there?
Yeah, view is beautiful. Unfortunately, I a little bit feel sick my throat. Good morning, Leo. Good morning, Kia, Maple, and the global audience. I'm very honored to join this show today again. As Maple mentioned last week, we guys just introduced about how CCP forced the transfer technology. We want to go some detail this time. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Hope there's not big deal. So QCCP, how's your Friday so far?
The whole day is raining, but anyway, it's my pleasure to join the show. In this show, there are all sunlight here. Huh? Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's all sunshine here. Yeah. And how can we forget our most important teammate, Farm Sister, who is live streaming the program? So very good to see you, my dear fellow fighters. So Farm Sister, could you put on the first PPT? And the picture on the PPT remind me a very old game when I was a kid. We used this trick to catch sparrows, and it worked pretty well. And the CCP is using this old trick on people, on company, and even on countries. And they have been successful. So today we are going to continue our topic on CCP's forced technology transfer. So Maple, I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you very much. Last program, actually, we talked about how the CCP and the Ministry of the Railway led and organized the whole picture, and then whole plan, the evil plan. They want to steal the technology of the railway, industry and from the giants, industrial giants. And then they made an evil plan, to release the tender, to abstract the foreign industrial giants to come, with the Chinese so-called big market, of the deployment of the railway, and development of the vertical and horizontal network of railways in China. So now, after they released the tender, they defined the several issues. First, they have to attend or participate the tender through the China railway manufacturer called Sifang and Changke. And then to establish the JV. And then the second requirement is that they have to transfer their technology, the key technology, to these Chinese manufacturers, Sifang and Changke. And moreover, they ask the Chinese manufacturers to learn, but they don't evaluate, the results only by, from these manufacturers, local manufacturers. They required the foreign giants like Bombardier or the other participants, to guarantee the quality of the teaching. Whatever the students of Sifang and Changke they learned, or they are happy, or they really got the technologies very soon, very fast, or they slowly. They don't care. They care about. They put the milestone of the payment related to the quality and effect of the learning. So then, with this way, they push the Chinese, industrial technology to be improved, in the fastest way. So let's see this. How about this tender? The first tender they released in 2004. We started to talk last program. And the first PPT, the page, we show that before the deadline of the submitting the bids, the different foreign giants, they established a JV and consortium with the local companies. Like from Japan, there's they formed a grand union of the Japanese companies, and then they formed the consortium with the Sifang, Qingdao Sifang, and then in Changke and Alstom, they established the consortium. And Bombardier, they also established the consortium with the Sifang to participate in the bidding. But then Siemens, they had to leave the competition because they didn't make agreement, with the manufacturer Sifang or Changke, because the such requirement of the forced technology transfer is really tough, and they cannot accept that. So in the end, they didn't make the consortium with any Chinese local manufacturers.
Sorry, I want to bother you here. In this, you mentioned Siemens, they exited the competition, right? So, right. But in your slide, you're showing the Sifang actually is the party of two consortium, right?
Yeah.
But meaning either way, they will win, right? If either of the consortium win the bid, right? But how? My thinking, I'm not sure. Just to confirm with you, these joint venture or consortium, they have a new name, right? So meaning even Sifang is part of the two party and the two consortium, but the let's say the joint venture company is named in different, let's say seems like a different party, right? To join the bid.
Yeah,
look, that's true, right?
Right.
Unless you see the actual members each of the company of the consortium, that only in that way you will be Sifang showing two times here, right?
Yeah. No, actually, when we understand the basic needs of this game, that Sifang or Changke is not the normal participator for this bidding. The target of their participation is to receive the technology, transferred from whatever Japanese companies, Alstom from France, and Bombardier, and even Siemens later. Their purpose is to receive the technologies and then to absorb the technology and then to so-called innovate, based on these stealing technologies.
Yeah,
and then
just think about critical words. Innovate.
Yeah.
Innovate.
Yeah, because you should have the local entity to receive such technology, right? So then they have such a manufacturer.
Yeah, but here, because I just want to make our audience clear how this can happen, right? Because we commonly understand that why Sifang and Changke here in the consortium is because they really want the frontline technology from the other companies, right? But
right.
This kind of arrangement, why Sifang and Changke must be part of the consortium. Just in this case, I mentioned Sifang is part of two different consortium, right? So how this can happen? Meaning, from logic, let's say I'm always trying to see the logic here, because Siemens exit, right? Why Siemens exit? Is that because they cannot find a partnership with either Sifang or Changke?
You are right. So, because Siemens didn't want to accept this kind of ridiculous conditions of the contract or bidding, to transfer technology with no cost, and Siemens actually asked for a very high price. Look, I can transfer, but with this price. But then Sifang or Changke said, no, you have to transfer with a very low cost or zero cost, because we have a China market and this bidding, this and that. But Siemens cannot accept, that is why they didn't make any agreement with Sifang or Changke for the technology transfer, actually forced technology transfer. And then they are alone.
Yeah, but in this bidding, I forgot the last episode, do you mention that each of the consortium must have a Chinese company?
Yes, it is.
It is. It's true.
Okay.
Actually, when I watch, look at it, it's very ironic and interesting. Siemens, as one of the biggest players in the market or in that industry, right? It has to leave the competition. What are the reasons behind? Just because the technology is not good enough, or it's not met the expectations for like a joint venture with CCP side, or any other reason, as you guys said, Siemens lost their bid just because it cannot provide its most advanced technology to the joint venture. That is the reason, right? If you do not follow the rule, you do not give up your technology, you will leave away.
Yeah, because they don't want to bend down to CCP and this kind of crazy conditions. It never happened. I believe never happened in the world before.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty bad example, especially at the very beginning, right? When China joined the WTO, and this make a very bad example. If you work with CCP, it seems you get a great chance, right? You get a big market share. You have a lot of potential business opportunities in China, and if you don't obey or don't follow their kind of order, CCP's order, you lose your chance. So it's a very bad example. I think that's why that more and more companies, say yes to the Chinese Communist Party later. That caused the current situation in the world.
And also, look at me, the trap over there is not avoidable. You have to go through there and give up something. Otherwise, you even won't able to enter the market at all. The trap just in front of the door. You have no way to, twist it around, right?
Yeah. This is evil. Why the CCP and Ministry of the Railway and those manufacturers, they can do like this? Because the CCP controlled all the main economy and the industries in the whole mainland China, right? In communist China, whatever, railway, banks, telecommunication, whatever, it's 100% controlled. Even Alibaba is a private company, and Huawei, the private company, is it's 100% controlled by the CCP.
Yeah, actually, I remember last episode, you guys say something. There's kind of a big ceremony, signing ceremonies when they end up the bidding, right? It reveals the tender result. Usually hold this kind of ceremony either for those companies who win the tender is kind of a rewarding, shining used in the spotlight. But for other companies, if you lose the tender or let you lose your face, a hint that your technology is not meet their requirement, or you're not working well with their Chinese side partner. Looks like
it's like a kind of punishment to the loser, right? But basically, if you understand the rule, this loser actually is the winner. I believe Siemens eventually will survive in the market, right, and make profit or make more money because they didn't cooperate with the CCP. But that basically, I think we already make it clear that because this time is 2004, right? So nearly 20 years ago. I think that time CCP is still hiding behind the scene, right? As Lakeman mentioned, that there will be a signing ceremony. This ceremony is just like a show time for all the so-called winners to, let's say, to show off their successful or their being able to get access to this Chinese market. But on the other side, because this is the first deal, right? Because if consider I'm the one of the company like Alstom, right? I may be not familiar with the trick always played by CCP, right? So for the first trap, I may fall in the trap. But if you got a second chance, I believe the foreign company will never step into the trap again, right? Because they will feel painful. Just like it's similar case as for the enslaved Chinese people, right? They are also they will follow the CCP because they are saying so many good words, right? Promise so many good life for you, for all the people, working for the people, serve the people. But actually, when you really ask the party to implement what they committed, that time you will see the result, right? Actually, they don't serve the people serve them. When they really realize or they get punished or they feel the pain, that's the only time the Chinese people can wake up. I think the similar principle applies to all the foreign companies. Yes, maybe the first time you fall in the trap, but you should never fall in the same trap again for the second time, for the third time. Yeah, I think that's a warning. And after 20 years, we see CCP is the enemy of the whole world, right?
Yeah, right, right. So actually, CCP is a liar, from the beginning, and then till today, nothing changed. They are still the same, liars, and then they are gangsters. Let's continue to see, like QCCP said that Siemens may survive from this kind of insistence of, from avoidance of the trap. But the second, the result of the first tender is that look for the Sifang. They sign the contract and the technology transfer with the Japanese Kawasaki, the heavy industry, and then they also have the JV, with the Bombardier for the technology transfer, and the Changke Alstom, they have the cooperation for the railway, and technology transfer. So let's see what QCCP said that Siemens can get out of this trap or not. It came out the second tender, 2005. In 2005, the Ministry of Railway launched another tender, of the 160 transits with the speed requirement 300 km/h rolling stock, and then through this tender, we can imagine the procedure and the result will be the same. The first to sign the technology transfer with the local Sifang or Changke to transfer, and then to guarantee the quality and the time of the teaching to the local companies of these technologies. With these conditions, Siemens and Tangshan jointly won the 60 trains. Finally, Siemens got the koto to the CCP and won the contract. And then the second, the Japanese, the Kawasaki also, they won 60 trains. And the third, the Sifang Bombardier also got the 40 train sets. So we can see, in like Sifang, they got the technology transfer from Bombardier from Japanese companies, Kawasaki, and another called Tangshan plant. They received the technology from Siemens. All the local manufacturers, they receive technologies, and then which establish the basics of the future CRRC, so that, today the CRRC is the biggest railway rolling stock manufacturer in the whole world. All came from this kind of first tender and the second tender and relevant technology transfer. So this is really the shameless of the CCP and Communist China.
Yes. So when I look at this, it's interesting. Now, at this time, we saw Siemens must learn lessons from the first tender, that it was forced to leave the competition. This time, it partnered with Tangshan plant, right? And finally won a bid for 60 trains. Now, look at it this time. Japanese company Kawasaki Heavy is no longer part of the consortium, but only to provide some technical support. It's really interesting here, right? Look, at the first tender, it did win a part of that bidding and partnered with Sifang. Now, Sifang learned most of the manufacturing technology, which including maybe the manufacturing technology or operating system, etc. You guys remember there's a saying in China, in Chinese, our students learn all from the teacher and then teacher lose their job.
Yeah, this is remind me of the saying of Max Guo said that all these companies, or even the white glove of the CCP, is just like use the toilet paper, right? Because the one before the toilet paper is used, it can still have the value, right? After it's used, the only result is being thrown away, right? Just like in this case, Kawasaki Heavy. It's really, to my surprise, Siemens eventually joined the Tangshan partnership with Tangshan plant. See, to me, the conclusion is there's plenty of fish in the ocean, right? As long as you have the bait, enough bait. Just like in this page, I think Maple make a good picture here. Make it big. If the first bait cannot lure the fish, they will make it bigger.
Right.
This is always the CCP way.
Yeah. With this sweet trap from the CCP, I don't think any the big company or more companies can escape this kind of trap.
If you don't really make it sweeter, right?
Yeah. It's really difficult to resist this kind of lure.
And also from here, you guys can see there is no creative or innovation at all for those kind of Chinese company. They want just to force the technology transfer. It's a kind of a bullying. They use China market as a tool or lure to bully those industry giants to give up their technology, to exchange the market in China.
Exactly, right. So we continue. Let's see, through this tender 1 and tender 2, all the main giants, they are following the trap. And then what did they transfer the technologies through these tenders? First, we see the ICE-3. And ICE-3 is the highest technology in that years, and created by Siemens, and now it's a Bombardier. Actually it's Alstom. And those technologies like revolutionary, totally different from what the Chinese manufacturers had. Like there'll be no power cars. Remember, we when we were like teenagers, we took the train with the green color. This kind of passenger train is like a box, and the first locomotive is it's a power engine, so huge and big. But with this ICE-3, they distribute the powers into 16 traction motors and put it underneath the whole train and different train cards. So which we will see the cab of the I3 trains. You see, it's really beautiful and light and not that heavy and ugly. But you see the Chinese this green color train. It's a power engine put in like a coal or the diesel. You know, it's really heavy and clumsy. And the speed is and also a totally different level. You know, it's 330 kilometer per hour, and with the trial high test is like 368. Compared to Chinese one, it's at that moment it's only 200, and the designs are 220 to 250. But is so much failure happened with the normal operation. So we will see the Siemens, they transfer the highest technology, the highest level technology to the Sifang and the Chinese manufacturers, so which is really a big problem for them, but the big benefits to the Chinese, those CCP manufacturers. And then the second, the next page is about Alstom and the Japanese. They are the main players in those biddings. And they transfer. Alstom didn't transfer to the highest the advanced technology to Changke, but they share their technology and their management and the maintenance, the whole logic of the business, and also the Japan companies, the Grand Union. They didn't come up with the best rolling stock technology. But their participation really helped the Chinese manufacturers improve a lot, to the first level, the top level of the industry in the shortest time. And we can see the picture. The picture for this technology transfer from those giants is like a suicide, but they didn't realize at that moment. But I think that 20 years later, almost 20 years later today, they started to realize that. Even I think 10 years ago, when CRRC expanded, was created, with a merge and started to expand the global market. And they realized that they really regretted, I believe, the CRC, they used their technologies to beat them and to be the number one of the industry. This is really the ridiculous and ironic.
So meaning in this way, what you are showing here, meaning the top technology was not anymore available to CCP, right? Because let's say the Japanese and Alstom already more conservative in providing their best technology in cooperating with the CCP. This understanding is correct?
Actually, this is the tender 1 and tender 2 in 2004 and 2005. That is only the beginning. But with the development of the technologies, and also the Chinese market, they show to the industry that, we have the bigger and bigger market. And later on, actually, Bombardier and Siemens, they signed more and more technology transfer with these local manufacturers. Actually, CRRC today, they already have the highest level of technologies of the whole industry, because later on, they did more technology transfer, because they really cannot resist this kind of, the sweet trap of the China market, controlled by the CCP. And they all fall in the trap. and they give more.
Yeah, it looks like a Japanese company is worn up, right? Because they lost opportunity because they offered a scaled down version of technologies to protect themselves. They learned from the cooperation with the Sifang during the first tender, because when Sifang cooperated with them, set up a joint venture, they learned everything from them and then kick them off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it seems CCP is very smart, right? Use the same trick to trick everybody, but they forgot that you can use one trick to just use it once, twice, even 3 times. You cannot use it forever, because even by now, even while Chinese Communist Party didn't steal all the technologies from the advanced companies, but even they did. Do you have the foundation to improve yourself in the future? If they stop the technology transfer, they realize that there's a trap and they stop that. Do you have the ability to invent new technology to improve? No. 20 years later, you're still using old technology, right? Because at meantime, the other company or the other country they have a new technology already. It won't last forever, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. When we're talking about it here, I think of one sense. You guys still remembers about those days, like first train or railways in China, that is the Jinjiang Railway. That is designed by a Chinese young kid, Zhang Tianyou, who is one of 120 young students sent to the United States to study. That time is like a foreign industry revolution,
Yeah.
That time, they did that one through learning the knowledge or technology at a school, and they come back in China and design and build its own railway. This is a normal way, we learn knowledge or technology, and then transfer to the market by yourself. That is the way the market encourage like a technology learning way. However, right now, look at the CCP, what they're doing. They even don't want to sit in the classroom at all. Just came here, do it for me.
That's remind me. I think one of the commonly my experience is if let's say when there is some agreement signed, right? So meaning one party may provide technology, but commonly based on my experience, commonly they will say yes, you can use this technology for non-commercial purpose. Meaning, if this technology, let's say the party A provides the technology, that this technology is for commercial use. So the party B is accepting this technology just for its own use, right? For the product, special product only. But you cannot reproduce or copy the technology to make your own profit. Meaning, B take A's technology and make B's own profit, use A's technology. This is not allowed. This is common called copyright, right? Meaning you can only copy from left to right, not the other way around, right? So this is the common sense or the market rules on the whole world. But the CCP basically they don't follow. Just as Maple mentioned, that the CRRC basically use the technology they taken as they are party B, they take from party A. Then now the CRRC is the party B, and they use party A's technology to make their own profit, to take over the market originally occupied by the party A. So in this way, they beat the whole world, right? So this is really some let's say breaking the rules. It's not following the rule. So as Leon mentioned, right? You can play this 1 time, 2 times, but you cannot play forever, right?
When we're talking here, you guys still remember when the situation is not favorable with CCP's company, they broke in the way. But when the situation changed in favor of them, they gotta, hello, everyone need to follow the market rule. Look at the patents they registered. For example, we discussed about the industry, telecom industry before, for Huawei. They steal the technology for many years. But now they said, okay, I have everything. Now our patent register every year is past any other company in the world. You guys all need to come back to the table. We need to follow the rule. That is their kind of a trick they're doing.
Yeah, that is the CCP's win-win, right? Meaning CCP win 2 times.
Yes. Right. So let's see after these two tenders how this Chinese manufacturers they develop their technologies of the railway. The first in the milestone of such development is like in 2004 they finish the agreement and of the technology transfer and they started to implement. But by 2007, actually, they already achieved the mass production of this high-speed railway products, and they put this railway and trains into operation already. And at that moment, in China, the harmony train sets, between Shanghai and Beijing, they started to appear in the market. And actually, by 2007, the technology has been fully localized already. So only 3 years, 2 to 3 years, and then some of the technology has achieved some independent innovation already. So we will see the teachers really made a good job, because they really want to get the money, the milestone money back, right? So they worked very hard. And by 2015, actually the technology is really upgraded, and then in China they formed the Chinese standard of the technology. It's called High-Speed Railway Standard of China, which is and then they comprehensively mastered the core technology of the high-speed railroads and achieved the full autonomy of high-speed rolling stock technologies. Like not only this through these two tenders, in the years after, actually there are more and more such agreement, and that forced the foreign giants to continuously transfer their updated technologies to the Chinese manufacturers, so that the CRRC they always kept the leading, with the leading technology in the industry. So which is really evil, right?
Yeah, definitely it's evil. From this chart, we can see, CCP does have a very long-term strategy to conduct its like a technology for market plan. Now, CCP owns almost all high technology in this industry. They start to set up their own standard and ask others to follow them. It's a kind of evil strategy. They completely destroy this competition or completely destroy the capability of innovation.
Yeah, but one thing in my opinion, is why they get this kind of advantage. It's just because the population in China, the biggest market bring by the 1.4 billion Chinese people, right? So this is fully, let's say, manipulated or controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. This is the only way they can attract or trap so many big companies around the world to enter their market, to trap them by this the sweet point, right? So yeah, this is it's really a pity, but also remind all the Western world that when you are dealing with the other party, first you need to know if the other party is let's say following the rule, is the fair game player. If not, never open your door to these black sheep. Otherwise, we will end in such a way.
Yeah. When we see that by 2015, actually the China high-speed railway standard came out, and let's see what happened in the industry in the merge of the companies. By 2014, December 30, actually the China Southern Railway and China Northern Railway, mainly consist of Sifang and Changke. Actually, they merged to create the CRRC. So then remember last slide that said that in 2015 the China high-speed railway standard come, right? So just after the CRRC created, and then the new standard come, and the CRRC just stand on the stage and then develop the international market with the China standard, Chinese standard. So which is all in the plan and all in the schedule, the merge and then the technology transfer. This is a big picture. But let's see, after the CRRC started their international business, and then in 2019, February, Europe, they vetoed the plan of the merge, Siemens and Alstom. That means Siemens and Alstom, they really wanted to merge together, although denied. And then in 2021 January, Alstom successfully acquired this Bombardier transport, and we'll see that the whole industry is in the merge again, which recall me what happened in Huawei and telecom industry, right? So from 2012 until 2010, during that 8 to 10 years, the industry changed dramatically. Motorola and Nortel networks, and even the Cisco, and Ericsson, Nokia, they started to merge, and Alcatel, they merge, and they disappear. Some already disappeared. So the industry, the same in this railway industry, since 2004, those giants started to enter China and started the technology transfer. Everything happened the same. They started to lose the technology, and then they lose the core competition capability, and then they are like bleeding to death.
Yes.
Well, I have to say, CCP have been very successfully doing that, right? It's only 10 years on, less than 20 years. They did that. They not only steal technology, they set up their own standard and beat the other giant to bleeding or even to death. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, we can see they steal the technology, and they just through about 10 years time, right? As they play the game and achieve their goal, now they grew up and stronger enough to go to the international market. So they start set up the new standard and blocks competition from others. So we can see from here why that merges so quickly. For the China side, is that definitely they want to be more, a capability to compete in the market. But for others, international like Siemens, Alstom, they have no choice. They just for survive. Otherwise, it's going to be beat up easily by CRRC in the market.
Yeah, I'm also wondering how CCP can make so quick development. Yes, they steal the technology from all these Western companies, right? This is one hand, but I'm thinking, on the other hand, do you remember how many, let's say, the technical peoples, they work 996? Right? I believe all the Chinese people know the 996, right? Meaning you start work 9 in the morning and work 9 p.m. In the evening, and this continues for 6 days per week. So this is 996, very hard working. But see how the living condition, how the life of these hardworking Chinese people have been improved. I think yes, their living condition kind of improved a little. But most of the profit, most of the benefit is taken by the Chinese Communist Party. The party takes everything, right? Eventually, they use the hard labor of the Chinese people to achieve this dominant of each of the industry. Like in this industry, the high-speed railroad, right? The other we have in previous episode we talk about Huawei, right? In the telecommunication industry. So the Chinese Communist Party play the same game again and again in different industry. each industry they touched, their black hand, this mafia, this gangster, they don't follow the market rule. So they just dominate the market to enslave the Chinese people to take over the market, so they can make the, let's say, nearly most or all of the profit they can make. But unlike the Western country, I believe that if you see, compare with the Japanese, compare with the American, even the German, that the living condition of the people in these countries, right, is several times, 3 or 4 times better than the Chinese people. But after 10 years or 20 years development, the Chinese Communist Party achieve this, achieve that, set up their own standard. But how the living condition of the Chinese people, that's the problem, right? That's why I agree with Lakeman, right? That these companies are bleeding. Why they are bleeding? It's because all the Chinese people behind the scene, behind the party is also bleeding. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, actually, the Chinese workers in the industry, we were in China before, and also, it's like slaves. It's a 996. It's a modern slaves for the global market by these beneficiary groups. And let's see, with this, technology transfer, how the CRRC, we all know that CRRC already, they had a very #1 market share, I believe, in the Africa, Middle East, and the Asian market, and even Latin America and European countries. They already those politicians and the so-called the government, they already sold out their companies and technologies and their futures during the past 2 decades. But let's see, the U.S. is maybe the only left market for which is still keep the resistance from the invasion of the CCP companies, but still in U.S. the CRRC they had got their projects, and their footprint in U.S. is also very solid. Let's see, in 2014 October, CRRC they won a contract to supply 284 rail cars for Boston subway system, and also in 2016, they have a 1.3 billion contract to manufacture more than 800 subway for Chicago, and also in 2017 for Los Angeles. So they have the maximum the contract more than 600 million US dollar, and moreover for all of these contracts, according to the U.S. regulations, the 70 or more the manufacturers or assembly should be happening in U.S., the American land. So that's why CRRC they set up so many JVs, and also the manufacturers for the parts. They have cooperated with local U.S. companies, to supply the parts for such manufacture and of the subway cars. So their footprint is already in U.S. and also their threat to the U.S. The citizen and the American people's life is direct, right? It's already there.
Yes, so from here, so I'm thinking about why the CRRC so quickly has entered the United market and gain so much a market share over there, because there's a reason you guys maybe think about the automotive industry, that is highly developed, and United States is focused in that part. So during the past 50 years, it's not big plan for them to upgrade the railway system at all. But that's why their passenger trains is not advanced as many other countries, such as Japan, China, or European. No, because of their isn't the big companies that specialize in manufacturers of like a train car. So there is not big market or big profit for them. So they just follow. Let's give a chance for Chinese companies, CRRC, because there are so many advantages, because they already gains all the high technology in this industry, also have very lower labor. That's why.
And I think if you look back at the whole timeline, right? First, the Chinese Communist Party just spent nearly 10 years to steal the technology from the Western countries. Then after that, they achieved the advantage or the dominant in the market. Then they put it into the application for the American, the U.S. market. So to this, my thinking is the U.S. is the last frontier, right? And also from CCP's perspective, the U.S. is always the Chinese Communist Party's last target. So eventually, that's not surprise to me, right? If we hold the last frontier of United States, then we still have a chance to win, to take over the evil Chinese Communist Party. If we lose the United States, then I don't think we still have chance. The whole world will enter darkness with the control of CCP. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to think from a humanity point of view why this is happening and why this has been happened for decades. And selfish, greedy, or fear, that's all human nature. We all have that. And the reason we call CCP is evil because it utilized those human nature to control people for their own evil purpose, right? That's why the CCP, can be so-called successful. The whole world, look around the whole world, right? It's all different kind of crisis, disasters happening, and the CCP is all behind this. So I think before we wrap up today's show, do you guys have anything to add?
Yeah, I have one saying is that CRRC actually their threat to the whole world is not only in the industry of the railway. Actually, what they did during the past years, for different industry and the fields, which is a bigger threat to the whole world. So let's see the next program we can expose together what they did, the evils.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Maple. And when Miles Guo started the whistleblower movement on January 26, 2017, he actually let the world know, for the first time, let the world know the true color of the CCP. And also warned the whole world, if we don't stop that, the whole world will be in the darkest time. And we, as a whistleblower movement follower and citizen of New Federal State of China, we have been waken up by Miles. But unfortunately, the world didn't listen. So look around the world now, right? It's all kind of disaster, and CCP is the root cause of all those. But even though I think it's still not too late to action to take down the CCP. So that's what a new federal state of China, new Chinese people are doing. So thank you, my dear fellow fighters, Maple, Lakeman, QCCP, and Farm Sister. Thanks for our audience to spend another hour with us. Hope you had a good time. And our show is every Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So see you next time.
Thank you very much. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
小的翅膀，踏上母鸡缝制的马靴，把奶酒让我藐视死亡。跨上马与狂风对话，迎着黄沙我再次出发。无畏的血水战甲滑落，我的伤口是燃烧的太阳。哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦。一直在马背上，永远矗立在我肩膀。一生在战场，是我的荣耀。哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，伟大的长生天，我的魂与你同在。我们是的草原真正的主人。哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦，哦嘿呦。为了孩子稚嫩的脸庞，为母亲眼中的期望，兄弟们站起来反抗！英雄故事必被后代传唱。我们是勇士的民族，不屈的血在世上流淌。